Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. I wanted to continue my discussion of the young man that took the life of the Ukrainian woman on the train in late August. And I already did a video on it on Van Jones' foolish comment about this man being mentally ill and hurting people, hurt people. In other words, downplaying the horrible, hideous crime rather that this man committed. In this video, I want to cover something that I would call rightful acknowledgement. And that is that the brother of the suspect that took the life of this young lady is admittingly saying that this could have been prevented. He's not making excuses. And he essentially says that his brother should get the fullest extent of the law. He's not making any excuses for what his brother did, like a lot of parents or siblings do with their own brothers and sisters. They make excuses for them. He's not doing that. So let's get right into this article. Here's the article right here. And here's the guy that did this. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's you guys. But here's a picture of the suspect. Okay. Jeremiah Brown, the brother of Charlotte murder suspect DeCarlo Brown Jr., has blamed the justice system for letting his sibling walk free despite a history of violence. I talked about that in the other video. It says, Ukrainian refugee, I can't pronounce her name, so I don't want to butcher her name, was brutally and randomly stabbed while riding the light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina this past August. The suspect, 34-year-old DeCarlo Brown Jr., had a history of violent crime and was a repeat offender. Speaking with the New York Post, Jeremiah Brown, age 19, said his brother should suffer the full penalty of the law and blamed the justice system for allowing him to walk free. Wow. 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 I think that's really, and some people may overlook this and say, oh, it's no big deal. But I do think it's a big deal. I do think it's a big deal. For number one is he's only 19 years old. And what I hear a lot of times with people of color, for lack of a better word, I'm trying to be nice here, is that when their siblings do something they shouldn't do, they cover up for them. They're all on TV crying and boo-hooing, my pookie, this. But this young man is, he's not doing this, right? He says, I think they could have pretty much prevented it then, Jeremiah said, referring to his brother being released from prison this past January. I didn't even know he had mental problems. You can't just let him walk free, especially because of mental issues, Jeremiah added. He can do it again. They should still treat him for his mental issues, but there are consequences for his actions. I think he should suffer the consequences. Jeremiah said he had only met his brother, with whom he shares a father, once or twice. He was on my father's side. They have a record of being in jail and stuff, he said. Wow. Jeremiah expressed sympathy for the victim's family and hopes they get the support they need. As Breitbart News reported this week, the Department of Justice has, quote, directed her team to federally prosecute DeCarlo Brown Jr., 34, a repeat offender with a lengthy felony rap sheet, accused of unaliving 23-year-old Erna Zawinski. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, like I said. This is a young woman living the American dream. Horrific murder is a direct result of failed soft-on-crime policies that put criminals before innocent people, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in an X post on Tuesday. I have directed my attorneys to federally prosecute DeCarlo Brown Jr., a repeat violent offender with a history of violent crime, for murder. She continued, adding, they will seek the maximum penalty for this unforgivable crime, and he will never again see the light of day as a free man. End of article right there. Yeah. And some people may have a problem with that, because here's a white woman, a white person saying this about a black person. So automatically, a lot of people, black people, will look at that and be, they get upset when white people call black people criminals or whatever. They get upset with that. But the truth is the light. What this man did was horrible. It's horrible. That's not what I'm going to focus on here. I want to focus on his brother. I applaud his brother. I applaud this young man, the brother of the suspect. I applaud him. I really do, because the general narrative, particularly among black people within these types of areas and dealing with these type of subjects is usually always, because that's my brother and that's my sister. They tend to overlook the crimes and evils that they do. And to some extent, I understand, but understanding has nothing to do with what is right. I can understand in the sense that that's your brother, that's your sister. But what about justice? Why do we overlook justice when it comes to siblings? Okay, I get it. I understand. That's your brother. That's your sister. That's mom. That's dad. That's Pookie. That's cousin Momo. I get it. I get it. But when they do a clear wrong, especially when they take someone's life, are we to overlook that? Are we to say, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my Pookie, that's cousin Coco from up the way? Are we to overlook that? Clearly, this young man did not overlook what his brother did. He didn't seem to feel sorry for him. And he specifically said he should suffer the consequences of whatever is coming. So I'm going to assume, based on what his brother said, that whatever those consequences are, that might be either life imprisonment or the death penalty. Because as the young man said, and I said in the previous video, and everyone has said, this man had a lengthy criminal record. Even if he was mentally ill, why is he walking the streets? And no one can really give a justified argument. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not from that area, but they can't say, well, the prisons are overcrowded. Even if the prisons and the jails are overcrowded, why would you let someone like that, a felony person who's a repeat offender, dangerous, out on the streets because overcrowded? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, except it alludes to the idea of these liberal policies, these liberal judges, these liberal mayors, these liberal counties commissioners, these liberal prosecutors, and all the rest have a screwed up worldview. A screwed up worldview. And people can argue all day and say, well, that's a MAGA talking point. That's a conservative talking point. Okay, it may be a conservative talking point, but it's a valid talking point. Doesn't matter whether or not it's a conservative or MAGA talking point. What matters is it a legit talking point? And I would argue it's a legit talking point. All this talk, well, that's just a MAGA or a conservative talking point. Okay. But the question is it legit? The question is it right? Okay, if anyone with any sense can answer in the affirmative, then yeah, we should talk about it. Pam Bondi made the statement, well, this guy's a criminal. He's this, he need to be put away. And we're going to make sure he gets, I'm paraphrasing the words, obviously. He's going to be put away for the full extent of the law. Some black people, once again, might get upset with that because she's right in saying this. But guess what? You can't say that about his brother, because his brother, I'm going to assume his brother was black. I'm going to assume that. I'm going to assume it. That his brother was black as he was. And he said it shouldn't have happened. They could have prevented this. The question inevitably is, why haven't they prevented it? Well, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into because you already know where I stand on this. You already know where I stand on this. People get what they get because they vote for this type of stuff. You vote for people like this, and this is what you're going to get. But somebody might argue, well, the Republicans ain't no different. Oh, okay, yeah, but I guarantee you, if you vote for a Republican on a local, state or federal level, I guarantee you they won't let that happen. Which would one? What do people see? It comes down to what people value. If you value law and order and safety, then more than likely you're going to vote Republican. You're not going to vote for these Democrats, at least not these modern Democrats. Now, I'm not saying all Democratic politicians are far left and radical like this, but this is what we're seeing. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I said this before, and I keep saying it. A lot of these people that are saying, a lot of these politicians that are saying they're Democrats are not Democrats. They're posing as Democrats, but they're actually socialists, Marxists, and communists. They're lying to you. Once they get in office, they're going to be soft on crime. They're going to defund the police. They're going to be like, oh, you commit these crimes because you're oppressed and white systemic racism pushed you into doing what you're doing. And you have an excuse for what you're doing. Go ahead and rob all the stores you can because you're hungry, you're poor, and we're here to help you. Keep voting for them. Keep voting for them. You get what you want. You get what you vote for. But anyway, I commend this young man. I commend this young man. I think for him to say this, and I'm going to assume that the mainstream liberal media is not covering this extensively, but I commend him for this. I commend him for this, and I just wanted to say that about that. It's clear from his brother, from the brother. It's clear from him. There's no debating in his mind. It's clear that this could have been prevented. When something like that happens, and when something like that happens, gets to the point where it's so glaring, where crime and criminal activity is so glaring that people start saying, man, look, this could have been prevented. People whom you think wouldn't say this, say it, then you know crime is out of hand. When it gets that clear that you have a brother, a young man who's the brother of the murder suspect, saying this could have been prevented. This could have been prevented. This man my brother had a lengthy criminal record. This could have been prevented. When you have someone like that of the same ethnicity saying, hey man, this could have been prevented, then you know crime is out of hand. Say what we want to say about Trump. We can argue all day, oh, I think it's an overreach about him sending the military in these cities and so forth. But I guarantee you that if you do send the military in a lot of these liberal cities and so forth, I guarantee you this, 90-something% at least will be happy about it. They will be applauding it. The only people that are going to be unhappy about this is criminals and the far left radical activists and politicians. They're the only ones going to be unhappy about it. Because it ain't like the military sleeping in your bed. It ain't like they peeping in your window trying to see what you doing. You go in your house, you cool. They may be walking around, cool. If you got to go out and walk your dog, you don't have to worry about somebody ending your life just walking your dog. Because you got a soldier or a group of soldiers walking the streets. Cool. I guarantee you a vast majority of Americans are going to be happy with that. Okay? It's the liberal loonies that are unhappy with it. It's these Democrats, politicians that are unhappy with it. It's the mainstream liberal media that's unhappy with it. But I guarantee you that most Americans are not going to be unhappy with that. But anyway, okay, I commend this young man once again. And I think that more people who have siblings that commit these kind of crimes, yes, that's your brother, that's your sister, that's cousin Pookie and all the rest, but you can't excuse what they do. Because when you excuse what they do, they're going to continue. They're going to be more emboldened to continue to do it because they figure there are no consequences. My cousin got me. My mom got me. My brother got me. I'm cool. That's why a lot of people, that's one of the reasons too, let me say this, I'm going to start winding this up. I believe too, that's why a lot of people commit the crimes that they commit and do the things that they do. It's because cousin Pookie and mom and daddy and Pookie and Popo down the street and, you know, and cousin Rowland and everything, they all behind me. They cool, and if I get put in prison, when I get out, they got a big welcome home party for me. Big welcome home party. Welcome home, son. Welcome home, daughter. We love you, which is good. You're supposed to love them. But really? Cousin, brother, sister, whatever, I hope that when you was in prison and in jail without the bail, that you learned the lesson that you won't do this anymore. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be rejoicing over, the fact that, hey, man, I did my time and I don't want to go through this anymore. Once again, I commend the young brother. And yeah, crime is so bad now that here's a person that's saying, you know what? A brother is saying, you know what, man, this could have been prevented. it could have been prevented. Yes, that's my brother, but I want him to suffer the full consequences of what he has done, because this is absolutely atrocious. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. What do you guys think about this brother? You think he should be commended for saying that, hey man, there's no excuse for what my brother did. This could have been prevented, and he deserves the fullest extent of the law. Hey, if you believe that, leave your comments in the comment section below. I certainly believe it, and I commend once again this young brother. And what do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.